Atheism is irrational. There should be a link, if you are a rational person, between your objective reality and your subjective reality. This is one of the problems about especially soft atheists, who say that even though they have an atheistic perspective on the nature of the universe as it being the result of pure mechanical actions and having no divine attributes relating to it, no ideas of perfection or beauty being even applicable to the universe. Because you cannot attribute beauty and perfection to a mechanical universe, because beauty and perfection are mind concepts. They are concepts of mind. Anyway, if that is your objective reality, that the universe is like that, and if you share Christopher Hitchens' objective perspective on the universe, then okay, good luck. Anyway, there now comes about the whole subjective thing. If you subjectively think that the universe is very pleasing, as some atheists have pointed out, that even though they think the universe objectively is a cruel, just mechanical machine, they subjectively think it's amusing, and they like it subjectively. That is irrational. It's completely irrational to think that way. Because if your objective reality is that the universe is not the result of any divine action signified by beauty and perfection, then it does not make any sense, any rational sense at all, to think that it sort of is when you view it from the subjective side. That does not make sense at all. If you share the religious person's, the theistic perspective on the universe as being not Christian, not Jewish, nor not Muslim, but simply a theistic perspective on the universe, that the universe is the result of a God of love and perfection and beauty and the attribute of everything having to strive for perfection, then it is rational to view nature as something that is very edifying for yourself and something that just fills you with joy and amazement, because that is rational then. Because there you have a link between the person's objective perspective on the universe and the subjective perspective. That is rational. It is irrational if this objective perspective and the subjective perspective are completely opposite. That's completely irrational. I can give it from the objective side or the subjective side. There should be a link there. If you say, this is good on the objective side, then the subjective side should say, okay, this is good too. What's the difference between objective and subjective? If any of you wonders, the objective side is pretty much your factual point of view. What is the facts out there? What is the reality that is beyond your own perspective, your own mind, so to speak, your own self? What is the reality, beyond that? That is the objective side. Of course, when you speak to another human, another thinking being, then that person will have his own subjective self, but not to get too into that. The objective side is the things around you, and the subjective is you inside. And if your perspective is different relating to the outside than it relates to the inside in such a significant manner, you are irrational. And that is why it is perfectly legitimate to say that atheism is very irrational, unless you're Christopher Hitchens. If you're Richard Dawkins, he is, from that perspective, he is a rational person, because he thinks the universe is hell, and he thinks it's a cruel place and all that. Even though he has his slips once in a while, he does think. Sometimes you see him, oh my God, it's so beautiful. He suddenly says, and then he slips back right into his own oblivion. Christopher Hitchens too, he thinks that the universe is a mess, and I'm like, listen to Christopher Hitchens, he explains this far better when he says all the cool things about the universe. And he is also, from a subjective side, he does not enjoy living. He doesn't. If he does, then he's we are into the whole rational problem again. And when you argument against my videos, argumentate against the whole thing. Don't pick out a sentence and then argumentate against that sentence, because that is completely irrational too.